Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. Brian Winnekins from the NAFB convention. Thank you to our sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Annabis Silo, Animal Wellness Center in Buffalo Valley, Compeer Financial, Osteoplastics, Synergy Co-op, Amplify Health, Wisconsin Corn Growers Association, and Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board. I'm with Lori Stevermer, and she is president of the National Pork Producers Council. She's also a pork producer from Minnesota. And Lori, thanks for joining us. Well, first, I guess, tell us about the farm back in Minnesota.
Yeah, we are a diverse farm. We have corn, soybeans, and we also finish pigs. We finish about 5,000 head of pigs a year, so right in south central Minnesota.
So how was your growing season this year? It was kind of interesting, I guess we'll call it.
You know, it was a diverse year. We started off really wet this spring, so we had corn that sat in water, and so our yields were down a bit this year. Of course, the harvest season was very dry and went very quickly, but yeah, overall just kind of an average year.
Yeah, that dry harvest season, Minnesota's first to get all of their soybeans in it. Were you one of those farmers that got everything all in pretty early?
Yeah, we did. I mean, coupled with the dry weather and the lower yields, it was a fast harvest.
We are talking with Lori Stevermer. She is president of the National Pork Producers Council. All right, let's talk about some of the things going on with NPPC. Now, one of them is international trade. We have a new administration coming in. Are you concerned about new trade wars?
You know, we are anxiously looking forward to the next year. Exports are about 25% of our pork products, so that adds about $64 worth of value. So if those exports are disrupted, that would affect our farmers. And so, yeah, definitely looking ahead with hopeful eyes and you know, working to communicate to the administration just how important exports are to our industry.
The other big thing that I'm sure has been on the radar is the recent announcement of the H5N1 and that pig in Oregon. That has to be a concern.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, number one, always want to remind people that pork that's cooked safely, or pork that's cooked properly is safe. But I would also say that the things that we do as a pork industry, our biosecurity measures, whether it's bringing pigs indoors or how we, you know, allow people into our farms, is always top of mind. And so we are continuing to be diligent there. There is a influenza surveillance program that goes on across the United States, so that allows us to kind of watch what's happening and to be proactive. I would say finally, we're asking for funding in the Farm Bill for our, what we call three-legged animal health stool, which part of that funding goes to the National Animal Health Lab Network. So those labs are really key for testing. So that's why we have the programs, that's why we have the dollars, so we continue to be monitoring and proactive on these type of diseases.
Talking with Lori Stevermer. She is president of the National Pork Producers Council. Now, you mentioned properly cooking pork. So, okay, my girlfriend says it's got to be 165. I'm like, no, sweetheart, it's 145. Who's correct here?
You are correct. It is 145. You know, that's something we continue to tell people, and it's hard to get it out of their minds, but pork can be pink, and that makes it juicy and tender. And for anyone that might be concerned about trichinosis, we were involved with a study that we submitted to USDA, 3.2 million samples of pork taken, no trichinosis. So pork is safe, don't overcook it, just enjoy it.
There you go. I'm right again. I like that. Now, what are some of the other consumer trends that the Pork Producers Council is watching or working on?
Well, I would say a couple of trends. Number one, the high protein diets, you know, that have been discussed more. Actually, pork fits in well with that as a protein. So want to make sure that the pork is part of people's menu, also part of our school kids menu. We sit in on a panel for the dietary guidelines, and so pork is very important for children, for development. So that's key. I would say also just looking at consumer trends when it comes to environment and wanting to make sure that consumers and really anyone, our public policy people, understand that we as pork producers are sustainable. We've got good practices in place. We use our manure as fertilizer on our crops, and so just want to continue to share that story of our stewardship.
Lori Stevermer, she's president of the National Pork Producers Council. And remember, cook your pork to 145. That's 145. That's the safe way to do it, and it also tastes a lot better. Now I'm gonna. Before I go though, I gotta ask. All right, for bacon, everybody loves bacon, but do you have? Some people have different ways of cooking bacon. Do you have a secret way that one should be cooking bacon here? I've seen add brown sugar, add, do this, do that. I've seen all the. Do you have the secret recipe?
You know, I am pretty basic. I actually like to grill bacon outside. So I have like a no flare grill. And so the way that our processor does it, it just brings out a nice caramely taste to it. And that's the way I like it on the grill.
On the grill. I'm going to have to try that. Again, Lori Stevermer with National Pork Producers Council. We're at the NAFB convention. I'm Brian Winnekins on Double.